Well, hello everyone. I'm so happy to be with you because in today's episode, we're going to talk about Pluto in Capricorn opposite the North Node. This is such a big theme that is really defining much of our attention in 2019 and also moving into 2020 and beyond because Pluto is so slow moving. But now in particular, there is a huge intensification because Pluto and the South Node are merged as one in Capricorn and opposite the North Node in Cancer. So we're going to look at how the past is being purged and what you can do to make this letting go process as effortless as possible. I'm going to give you lots of tips near the end of the episode, so definitely stay tuned for that. And of course, we're going to look at how this is all impacting you. And I'm also going to tie in the very tragic fire in Notre Dame because that fire encapsulates what is symbolically being shifted and eliminated and reborn in human history right now. So that's what we're covering today. And as always, if you're interested in star codes and of course your own birth blueprint, you'll love this free masterclass at starcodeclass.com. Just go to starcodeclass.com and you will be able to access and learn about your own birth promise based on your birthday and your birth certificate name. And I go into the astronumerology as well in your chart so you can see how those numbers in your astrology chart impact you as well. So just go to starcodeclass.com. It's all yours, my compliments. I hope you enjoy it. All right, so our topic today is intense. It's going to touch on deep emotional parts of you because we're going to talk about that really powerful astrological event in play between Pluto and the North Node of the Moon. How Pluto opposite the North Node is purging your past and what you can do about the letting go process, making it as effortless as possible. So just to note that in each episode of this podcast, we are covering bigger long-range events as they unfold in the stars and numbers, events that are in play now and events like eclipses that are coming up in the future so that you can prepare because you're feeling the energy even before things become exact. So that's what we do. And I'm going to give you not only the information, not only the meaning, but also tools that you need to navigate these celestial rhythms. So let's go to the major players in this particular theme today. First of all, Pluto operates with tremendous intensity. It's really the deepest, most profound emotional events in a person's life that are governed by Pluto. And it's also about your past history, whether it's in this life or any past lives. So Pluto's impact always brings profound soul awareness. So this is timelessness, right? This is not just about what's happening now in this moment in time, but what has transpired in many previous lifetimes and is happening and is impacting you now. So that's a invoking timelessness. So when Pluto is activated, as it is now in a big way, your memory of intense events in your current and past lives come to the forefront. So you can see why this is such a big moment. Pluto shows us how our subconscious mind has selected the most significant of these intense events and created a story around them. In order for you to understand what's happening to you, you interpret those events in an emotional and soul level way to give meaning to what was experienced, and that creates a story. So that's the first player, Pluto. The second major players are the North Node, which we're really focusing on today, and of course the South Node. Now the North and South Node are opposite each other at all times. Just like in a full moon, the sun is always opposite the moon. So the North and South Node are representative of our past and our future. So the South Node is like a cup that is filled, That's what it looks like. The symbol looks like a cup. And the North Node is an upside down cup that is empty and has yet to be filled. So there's tension there between the past and the future. And our role is to harmonize both, to be aware of how the past is impacting and influencing the present and the future. This is about the familiar and unfamiliar. So, meaning our past decisions and our future choices are interconnected. And right now, that tension is really strong because it's necessary for us at times to go through a lot of growth and a lot of movement. And this is one of those moments. So it requires resolution. When you have tension, it seeks to be resolved, just like in music when there's tension and chordal disharmony in music. It always seeks to come to into harmony. And the same goes for nature and art and beauty. There's light, there is dark, and it's the navigation of both that makes us who we are. So everyone experiences this tension differently. It really depends on your outlook. It depends on your perspective. It depends on our ability to be independent and sovereign, and our attention on individual freedom as opposed to towing the line and playing an expected role, a role that was imposed on us by cultural, societal, religious, and political programming. I mean, there's programming everywhere. So it is the what's expected of me part that is now being overturned. And that's what makes it so difficult, because we sometimes like to be told what to do. It gives us security to just know, okay, this is the path I should take, because the expected path doesn't require that you use creativity and explore independently what might actually feel right to you, right? What is your intuition saying? So all that is currently dying, and it's being birthed in a new way as never before. You're literally experiencing a resurrection with Pluto opposite the North Node, especially with Cancer and Capricorn being involved, which we'll get into in a moment. Now, this resurrection is so powerful because, as I mentioned frequently, we are at the very beginning of a new 26,000-year cycle. The one that just ended on 12/21/2012, the Mayan calendar, restarted, right? And we're not even through the first decade yet, right? This is a 26,000-year cycle that keeps happening on Earth. So we're at the very, very beginnings, the first seconds of this new era of human history. And this is why we need to purge now. So if you're attached to past ways, past beliefs, past habits, you're going to feel more tension than if you're willing to explore life at a new level of freedom and inspiration. Things you've never before experienced, relationships that are handled in a new way, very interdependent, careers that are based on soul level fulfillment. These are just examples of how you are navigating, leaving behind attachments to how it was and moving forward in a beautiful flowing momentum towards cosmic fulfillment. Now, you will remember and reactivate talents and wisdom from past lives at this time, because the nodes, when they combined with Capricorn and Pluto and also Saturn is part of this experience as well, is very connected to contracts. And these contracts activate gifts that you need from having worked on them in past lives in order for you to complete your contract. Now, the final major player in this play today is Capricorn. The South Node is now moving through Capricorn, and it will be for another year or so until May 2020. The South Node has now moved to where it is conjunct Pluto, which is what we're looking at today, as well as Saturn, which is also in Capricorn. And not only that, Saturn rules Capricorn. So this is the big event we're moving to in early January 2020. But now is a moment where we're looking deeply at Capricorn as it relates to Pluto. And Capricorn is all about responsibility. We mature when Capricorn is activated, as it is now. We become more patient, and we have more endurance to create lasting success. So we're now transcending the old patriarchal paradigm of top-down leadership, where you are told what to do, so you are the victim or the perpetrator. That's, the really extremes of top-down leadership. And we're moving into, instead, taking ownership of every experience in our life. So you're moving beyond how you were raised and parented and taught and mentored and how you expressed yourself in intimate relationships, in your career. And you're moving now into an experience where your inner confidence, which is the North Node in Cancer, is starting to really, really shine. Lots of people can struggle when it comes to fully taking responsibility for their lives and actions. They may feel others have not lived up to their responsibilities towards them, right? That's the victim way of looking at it. Or key relationships have failed them and caused them unhappiness. And of course, this isn't true. Others do not cause your problems, okay? And you can frame any experience in any way you want. So Capricorn is asking you to reframe everything and everyone as an opportunity, as a maturing process, as a growth experience. And let me just throw in here that we are in a 12 universal year in 2019. And 12, the shadow side of 12 is victim. So this theme of stepping out of victimhood into being a student of life and understanding that you are learning all the time and you have opportunities all the time to grow and to become wiser. And there is never any moment in time that anybody should feel like they are an authority over you. And we're going to go into authority. The big theme of today is the reframing of what authority is. So we're getting into that in a minute. So you now are, instead of feeling top down and being told what to do, or expectations have overwhelmed your ability to think for yourself and feel for yourself, is you're becoming that alchemist. You have the power to create your own magic, and that is it. Nobody has impacted you in a way that you haven't agreed to. You have not welcomed. So, for example, a difficult relationship or career becomes a choice for us. It's not a given. You choose whether to stay in a relationship and accept the consequences of any limitations in that relationship or leave the relationship. That is up to you. That is your choice. Yes, you can experience suffering. You, of course, can experience overwhelming fears about being alone and leaving this relationship. Or you may feel guilty for wanting to leave, even if the relationship is not joyful and feels like you're in a contract that you have a duty to fulfill. This is very Capricornian, and the duty to fulfill. The South Node stuff. We're leaving this behind, right? South Node in Capricorn is the past. So you may feel that guilt as well, rather than seeing whether you feel devotion towards the other person, and that should be your only parameter for staying in the relationship, is that there is devotion and freedom of choice. So when you take control over your own choices, you extend that to your partner. In other words, you're stepping into that positive affirmation in Capricorn, which is taking responsibility for your life and taking leadership of your choices, right? Owning it. So Pluto in Capricorn is helping you take that kind of control and not to accept top-down victimization, okay? Capricorn asks you to face those fears, and Capricorn invites you to release guilt. And in order to heal these types of situations, no matter where they happen in your life, where you confront these deep fears or need to release guilt, that means stepping into a place of loving authority. And this is where we are now segueing into the North Node in Cancer, because Cancer is love and Capricorn is authority. So we want to combine both. We want to now learn from the past and move towards a new place of, in this case, love. This ties also into Chiron's recent move into Aries for the next 8 years, because Chiron is the soul healer, and Chiron also is connected to love and is playing a big role in starting a big new cycle of healing, because when it moved into Aries, where it begins its new 51-year journey now, it started a whole new journey through the zodiac, and that just happened as well in March 2019. So you can see the universe is providing us with everything we need every step of the way, and that doesn't even include Uranus's recent move into Taurus, where it will be for the next 7 years. So we've had so many shifts in the onset of 2019 that are literally yanking away old ways of doing things and old beliefs and limitations that we've carried around, and we need to embody and rebirth and shed that old way. And so all of these happenings in 2019, preparing us for that big event in 2020, are here for us to be prepared as light beings by shedding the shadow side, right? So loving authority is really a key word for you to write down. And loving authority means noticing several things, including how you're holding yourself, the tone of your voice, how you feel about a person or situation, really paying attention to that. And also how you can reframe everything from a point of loving authority, loving guidance, loving support. So this brings us to the third major player, the North Node in Cancer, which is opposite Pluto and the South Node in Capricorn. Now, Cancer is the sign of nurturing and love. The North Node is where we are heading. The cup we are to fill, right, with new experiences, the upside down cup. So you're developing a new kind of emotional security. Your soul is discovering what it truly means to live a life of fulfillment. The North Node in Cancer is pointing you towards being nourished at soul level, not at society expectation, this is what my duty is level, but at soul level. So through relationships, through community, your home environment, through your business, through your family, your birth family and your soul family, that's how the nourishment is generated. So everything is pointing to a rebirth. Pluto is the rebirth that brings into harmony, which is the opposition to the North Node, your inner security, so that you stay calm, alert, and in loving authority in any external circumstance. It's a big invitation to be brave and slay your inner dragons. So Pluto symbolizes your subconscious, your evolution, what is often hidden, your secret underground operating system. Pluto dismantles, it dissolves all that, and it then transforms it into the phoenix rising from the ashes. It finally elevates your unconscious patterns and makes your transformation conscious by the results you achieve. So let me elaborate on that. Pluto is dismantling everything that is not in a place of authenticity. It's dissolving it. It's transforming it. So here are some tips to help you recognize patterns and dissolve them with ease. If you're in some kind of emotional or mental or spiritual battle, okay, just understand that it's your ego versus your soul. And here's what to focus on in terms of getting out of that battle of me versus them and dark versus light and ego versus soul. And by the way, this also ties into the Notre Dame Cathedral, the really tragic event that happened in Paris. The burning down of that symbol of the old religion, in this case Catholicism, that is basically a patriarchy. There are priests that are on the top and the Pope at the very top, and then there are nuns, and it's very patriarchal setup. That is a symbol of the shift that's taking place. And no matter who was behind the burning down or what the reasons were, we need to move away from trying to figure out who did it to why it happened in the first place, because the universe works in very mysterious ways, and pointing the finger never really helps us to get down to what we need to look at within ourselves. And in this case, the burning represents a setting free. It's an Aries energy. We are in Aries when the burning happened during Aries. And Aries is a fire sign. It's the first sign. It's the birthing of something new sign. And by the way, Aries is also a cardinal sign, as is Capricorn, as is Cancer. Aries is the onset of spring, Capricorn the onset of winter, Cancer the onset of summer. These are all cardinal signs. And the cardinal signs hold the key to our next mission, our next phase in life. Let's now go to some tips that'll help you move through this incredible shift with greater ease. So the first thing is strengthen your relationship to your inner life, meaning be clear and honest about how and what you are thinking and how you're feeling. Don't avoid the truth of your feelings. The truth is only authentic feedback. See it as that. Listen to it. Don't judge it. Don't run away from the truth. And then once you embrace the truth, that's when you can act in accordance with your highest good. So that's number one. Strengthen your relationship to your inner life. Number two, strengthen your relationship to your heart, your sweet, tender feelings, the soft side of you. Be vulnerable. Be humble. That's the North Node in Cancer call to action. So acknowledge your feelings and other people's feelings without judgment. Acknowledge your insecurities and your fears without fear of repercussion. Thirdly, release your need to control other people or situations. Pluto in the South Node in Capricorn means that we're done with telling others how to run their lives, what to think, and what choices are available to them. We need to let go of that completely, to give others the freedom to explore themselves and to understand that you have infinite choices. You have infinite potential. There's no right or wrong in terms of what road to take. It's up to you. There's never one way, right? No one has the divine right to take that power away from you. And so it goes for your impact on others as well, right? So release the fear and insecurity of wanting to control others. Fourth, remember to embrace the journey towards the goal. The journey is important. Capricorn can focus too much on the goal. So let's embrace every moment of our life. Focus on loving relationships. Those are your greatest gift, whether they are business or personal. Loving relationships is connected to loving authority. It allows you to express your divine mission. And Capricorn and Cancer, where the North and South Node are and where Pluto is, they want you to do both. They want you to be available and present in both your relationships and your soul mission, your career. And the fifth tip is to take time out to beautify your environment, your home, your studio, your office, your garden, right? Wherever you live and spend time with, create a welcoming space for yourself, for friends, for family, because this will bring your life into balance. It will allow you not to work as much. Capricorn loves work, and we're moving to a time where there is more love, more self-nurturing. And then miracles will happen because you'll hold the space in your life for loving authority, and it will combine work and family in a way that is beautiful. You're not just following a blind adherence to the expected way to be, or a blind adherence to authority, which is the old way. So put your energy in rebirthing your environment, rebirthing your career, rebirthing your relationships. Now, all of us in our own way are feeling this powerful celestial dynamic. And April and May in 2019 really are giving us a big taste because Saturn and Pluto are very close together and they're grouping with the South Node right now. So this is really a powerful time. Capricorn is about power structures and Pluto is showing us what needs to be dismantled. So the paradox is that we need to move into love, into vulnerability, into softness in order to feel how we can proceed in every part of our life, including our divine mission, and also how to release in order to proceed and be successful. Now, this can be painful because the South Node and Pluto are pointing to the North Node in Cancer, which feels and feels and feels, but also knows that only through the portal of our hearts can we support ourselves and others with total authenticity. Cancer, where the North Node is, knows how to ask for support of others, whereas Capricorn symbolizes an outdated belief that you can't ask for support. You have to do everything either top down orders, this is what you need to do, or to do it in isolation and alone, right? That's Capricorn. So in order to bring both Capricorn and Cancer into harmony now, we need to trust in the creation of boundaries. And that is the loving authority, right? We need to allow our hearts to melt into love, to share and hold space for our mission and our loved ones at the same time. So the boundaries are just as important as the sharing of your heart. So trust in those messages that come from your heart, and that'll give you the confidence to not be bound by the rules of society, and yet to create those important boundaries to keep yourself and your family and your divine mission in a place of high vibration. Cancer represents our emotional security, our inner security, our home, our inner confidence. And Capricorn represents our outer status, respect from others, and describes the role you play on the world stage. So these two signs really symbolize our most important needs. These are primal needs. Security, love, right? Acknowledgement of our gifts and respect. So it's really big. Capricorn provides the discipline, the fortitude, the endurance, the patience, the boundaries, the responsibilities, and the strong work ethic to take your life seriously and make honesty your highest value. Pluto deconstructs everything it touches. So it's rebuilding all those values, right? Discipline in what? Boundaries around what? Responsibilities to what, right? It's rebuilding that. And it's dismantling our definition of patriarchy, of control, of leadership. And Cancer represents the matriarchy. So we are to combine these now in harmony and reconstruct a new version of what patriarchy is and what matriarchy is. There's always swings back and forth in human history. And this is one of those moments where we don't want to go all the way to matriarchy. We want to combine both. We want to have both the security and the ability to step up and show our gifts, and the ability to love our family and have that emotional inner security as well. So now the question becomes, what's the one big takeaway to help you navigate this incredible intensity and tension of this opposition and move forward with a lot of confidence? So what you want to look out for is acknowledging your emotional needs, acknowledging what you desire at soul level, and acknowledging how you want to devote your life. Because when you do this with humility, acknowledging your deepest needs and desires will propel you to transform your goals, the direction of your career, and the nature of your relationships. If you focus on that, you will be able to navigate this incredibly powerful, intense moment that we're having here. So Thank you so much for joining me today. And, it's always really exciting for me to go deeper into these topics. And this was a biggie. So you may want to watch or listen twice or more just to integrate everything. And again, I invite you to explore your own soul code as well through astronumerology, through the combination of both these incredible sister divination arts, astrology and numerology, because when you know your soul code, you can really understand what your destiny is. And so go and watch Discover Your Divine Blueprint at starcodeclass.com. It's going to really open up that secret message of your birthday and birth name and codes in your astrology, and just reveal what you're here to share with the world and what your life purpose is. So I'll sign off now. It's been such a joy to share the wisdom of the star codes with you, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you next week. Sending you lots of